Altcoin season is coming and you are not ready. Don't worry, we got you. Because when it hits, everything changes and fast. Coins that were quiet for months can 10x overnight. Projects you've never heard of can become the next big thing. Remember Chill Guy? And without warning, a wave of FOMO can send prices soaring, only to crash just as quickly. This isn't just theory. This is how altcoin season always works. Are you ready for it? Buckle up. Welcome to JRNY TV, where we make the complex world of crypto simple and show you how to prepare like a pro. Today, we are giving you the ultimate beginner's guide to getting ready for altcoin season, because this is where the biggest gains are made, but it's also where most people get wrecked. If you don't have a plan, if you don't know what you're doing, and if you can't control your emotions, get them in check. This market will eat you alive. So before we even talk about buying coins, you need to understand how fast this market can move. Altcoin season is a roller coaster. One minute you're up 5x, the next you're watching those gains disappear. In 2021, we saw it with Solana going from $5 to $250 in a year. And no, that was not slow-mo. Shiba Inu, it went from a joke to a multi-billion-dollar asset in weeks. But just as fast as they rise, these coins can crash and disappear. So if you're not prepared, you will end up buying tops and panic selling bottoms. Don't be one of those people. And that's where this guide comes in. And that is exactly where this guide comes in handy. Because in the market of altcoins, it's not enough just to be excited. You need to understand the fundamentals of the game that you are playing. Alt season is the wild west of crypto, and there are massive opportunities, but only for the ones who know the rules. And rule number one is this: things can move fast, both up and down. Building a solid entry and exit strategy and sticking to it. Having a strategy in altcoin season is not just a good idea, it is in fact survival. Without a clear intention or a plan, you'll get caught in the chaos, buying tops, panic selling bottoms, and watching those gains disappear like they never existed in the first place. But with a solid strategy, you're not just another FOMO trader, you are in control. So here's how that plan actually works when you build it. Let's start with the entries. One of the most effective methods is dollar cost averaging, known as DCA. This means you're not trying to time the perfect bottom. Instead, you're buying a set amount of your favorite altcoin on a regular season. Maybe it's every week, maybe it's every paycheck. The point is you're building a position gradually over time, and that means you're less exposed to sudden dips. For example, if you decide to DCA or dollar cost average $100 into Cardano every single week, you're automatically buying the dips and the peaks, averaging out your cost. But what if you want to be more tactical? That's where laddered entries come in. Instead of buying all at once, you set your buy orders at different price levels, maybe 25% at the current price, another 25% if it drops 10%, and another 50% at a key support level. This allows you to build better prices without needing to time the exact bottom. Now for exits. This is where most people fail on their face. They hold forever, hoping for even bigger gains. And in the end, they end up giving everything back. Don't be one of those people. Set your price targets, set your profit targets. One popular strategy is the tiered exit strategy. This means you take profit at specific milestones. Maybe you sell 25% of your position when you 2x, another 25% at 5x, and the rest at 10x. This way, you lock in profits while still having skin in the game for potential moonshot. Another method is the stop loss strategy. If you're in a high risk altcoin, set a stop loss 20% below your entry. This means if the price drops that far, your position automatically sells, protecting your capital. And that is incredibly important. For those who want a little more flexibility, consider a trailing stop loss, a dynamic stop loss that moves up as prices rise, ensuring that you capture those gains without getting stopped out too early. And here's the most important part: write this strategy down. Don't just keep it in your head. Make a spreadsheet, write it in your notes, whatever it takes, because when the market is going crazy, your emotions are going to try and overrule you and everything that you're thinking. But a written plan, that is your lifeline. And if you stick to it, you won't just survive altcoin season, you will thrive in altcoin season. How to do research and pick the right altcoins. If you want to succeed in the altcoin season, you need to do more than just follow hype, and you need to become a detective at tracking the right projects, understanding their value, and spotting the red flags before they cost you your profit or your capital. This is where research becomes your superpower. Do your own research. And the best part, it's easier than you think if you know what you're looking for. First, you start with the project fundamentals. You go directly to the source. Visit the project's website, read their white paper, and understand what the project is trying to achieve. One more time, go to their source, go to their website, read their white paper, and understand what the company or project is trying to achieve. Are they solving a real-world problem, or are they just a copycat of another project in the world of the ecosystem? Check the team. Are they experienced? Do they have a track record in crypto or a blockchain? And are they public with their identities? Strong teams with real-world experience are a green flag, a major green flag. Anonymous teams, they can be a risk unless they have a solid reputation distribution throughout the community. Next, check the tokenomics. This means understanding the supply and the distribution or allocation of the coin. Is it inflationary with unlimited supply like Dogecoin, or deflationary with a fixed cap like Bitcoin or Cardano? Are there large token unlocks coming up that could flood the market with new supply? Use sites like CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko to see the current supply, max supply, and token distribution. If a project has a high percentage of tokens owned by insiders or early investors, that is a huge red flag. They could dump on you. But that's just the basics. The next level is community sentiment. Strong community can drive a project's success, even if the fundamentals are weak. Look at their Twitter, their X, or their Discord, their Telegram activity, any engagement on Reddit, or their socials. All of these matter. Are people passionate about the community? Or is it a ghost town? Projects with strong, active communities, especially ones that aren't reliant on constant hype, those tend to survive much longer. Don't forget the roadmap to partnerships. A solid project should have a clear roadmap, future upgrades, network expansions, or new product launches. But a roadmap is just words unless they have the partnerships to back it up. Look for real collaborations with major companies, exchanges, or layer one blockchains. If they partnered with projects like Solana, Polygon, or Binance, that is a huge plus. And finally, stay on top of news and updates. Crypto moves fast, and what's bullish today, it may be irrelevant tomorrow. Use sites like Block News, Google, or X just to stay updated. Follow the project's social media accounts and consider setting Google alerts for your favorite coins. Because when a big partnership drops or a major upgrade is announced, you want to know first, not last. Remember, great research is not about finding the next 100x coin out of nowhere. It's about finding the right coins that have the potential to explode because you really know what you're buying. Leaving emotion out of the equation, mastering your mindset. Let's get one thing straight. No strategy works if you can't control your emotions. And during altcoin season, emotions are your biggest enemy. Prices can double in a day and crash just as fast. Hype is everywhere. Social media is a nonstop firehouse of buy this now and sell everything. But if you let your emotions guide your decisions, you're already losing. Start with the biggest killer of gains. FOMO, fear of missing out. You'll see a random coin pumping 500% on X or Twitter, and first instinct will be to jump in. But here's the truth. By the time you see it, you're already way too late. The whales are selling into your hype. Instead of chasing pumps, stick to your research. If a coin wasn't on your watch list yesterday, it has no business being on your portfolio today. Then there is panic selling. Sound familiar? This happens to everyone. Your favorite altcoin is down 30% in a day, and your gut tells you to sell before it goes to zero. But here's the reality. Volatility is normal in crypto, especially in altcoin season. A 30% dip can turn into a 200% pump the next day. And this is why having a plan is everything, because when the market is crashing, your written strategy is your anchor. If you do your research, if you set your stop losses, you do not need to panic. But here's the most dangerous emotion: greed. This is what keeps you holding even after massive gains, hoping for one more pump. It's what makes you ignore your own exit strategy because this time is different. But let me tell you, greed is why most traders lose. Profits aren't real until you take them. That's why having a tiered exit plan is so important. If you're up 5x, take some profits. If you're up 10x, take even more. Leave some in for the moonshot, but be sure to lock in those gains. And finally, do remember that your emotions are normal. Everyone feels FOMO, everyone gets greedy, but the difference between whining and losing in altcoin season isn't feeling emotions. It's not letting them control you. So here is the edge, your edge, when the market is chaotic, and it will be. You stay calm. When everyone else is panic selling or panic buying, you follow your plan. Because the truth is, altcoin season, it's not just a test for and of your strategy. It is a test of your mindset. Creating a dollar cost averaging strategy that works for you. When it comes to altcoin season, one of the smartest strategies you can use is dollar cost averaging. But not all dollar cost averaging strategies are created equal. One more time, not all dollar cost averaging strategies are created equal. This is not just about buying a little bit of your favorite altcoins whenever you feel like it. This is about buying and building a disciplined, personalized DCA plan that works for you. Start with the basics. How much are you willing to invest? This should be money that you can afford to lose because crypto is still a high risk market. Look at your budget and decide how much you can allocate to altcoins each week or month without impacting your finances. Maybe it's $50 a week, maybe it's $500. It depends on you. Next, you decide on your dollar cost averaging schedule. Consistency is everything. One more time, consistency is everything. If you're getting paid bi-weekly, consider dollar cost averaging averaging in at a set percentage of your paycheck. For example, you may decide to put 5% of every paycheck into altcoins. Or if you want to be more active, you could set a weekly buy order. The point is to build your position gradually, so you're buying the dips and the peaks, averaging out your cost over time. But here's the next level, dynamic DCA. And this means increasing your DCA amount during market dips. For example, if Bitcoin drops by 10% in a day, you double your DCA for that week. If it drops by 20%, you triple it. This way, you're taking advantage of the volatility without trying to time the bottom. Remember, only do this with money that you can afford to risk. You also need to decide which altcoins you're going to DCA into. Don't spread yourself too thin. Focus on strong projects that you have researched. Do your own research. Always. Maybe you split your DCA between 3 coins, like 50% into a solid layer 1 like Cardano, 25% into a high potential DeFi project like Sui, and 25% into a risky low cap gem. This way you have a very balanced exposure. And finally, make sure you track your progress. Make a spreadsheet or use an app to monitor your DCA buys, your average cost, and your total holdings. This keeps you accountable and helps you see how your strategy is working over time. Because here's the secret, dollar cost averaging isn't just a way to buy coins. It's a way to remove emotion, avoid chasing tops, and build a position that can thrive when the market pumps, taking profits on the way up and protecting your gains. This is where the money is made or lost, because in altcoin season, coins can pump 5x, 10x, or even 100x. But those gains don't mean anything if you don't actually take them. And yet, most traders, they get greedy. They watch their portfolio explode in value, hoping for one more pump, and at the end, giving everything back when the crash inevitably comes. That does not have to be you. The solution? A tiered profit-taking strategy. This means you're not selling everything all at once. Instead, you're taking profits in stages. For example, you may decide to take 25% of your position off the table when the coin 2x's, another 25% at 5x, and the remaining 50% at 10x or higher. This way, you lock in those gains while still keeping skin in the game for a potential moonshot. But how do you decide your profit targets? Start doing your research. If you're holding a solid layer 1 like Cardano, maybe you set your first take profit target at a 3x because it's a safer long-term play. But for a high-risk meme coin like Doge or Trump, you might start taking profits at 2x or even 1.5x because these coins are notorious for wild pumps and brutal crashes. Another strategy is the percentage method. Set a rule for yourself, like always taking 20% off the table whenever a coin doubles. This keeps you disciplined, even if you don't have a specific price target in mind. And if you're holding multiple coins, this strategy, it can help you rotate profits from one winner into other undervalued opportunities. Now, what about protecting those gains? This is where stop losses and trailing stop losses come in. A stop loss is an automatic sell order that triggers if the price drops to a certain level, like 20% below your entry. A trailing stop loss is even better. It moves up automatically as the price rises, ensuring that you lock in profits without getting stopped out too early. For example, if your coin pumps 5x, your trailing stop loss might follow at 20% below the peak, capturing those gains without you having to watch the chart 24/7. Feels good. But here's the real key. Take profits without feeling guilty. In altcoin season, you'll see people posting screenshots of 50x gains, and you'll wonder if you sold too early. Ignore them. They won't be bragging when the market crashes and their unrealized gains disappear. Remember, nobody goes broke taking profits. Your goal is to make money, not to be the last one holding when the music stops. Understanding that prices can crash just as fast as they pump. So here's the final lesson, and maybe the most important one. What goes up can definitely come down just as fast. In altcoin season, you'll see coins exploding for 5x, 10x, or even 100x gains in a matter of days, maybe overnight. But you'll also see brutal crashes, 50% drops in hours, maybe minutes, entire projects going to zero, and hype turning to panic in the blink of an eye. But this isn't something to fear. It's something to understand, because once you know that volatility is part of the game, you can use it to your advantage. It's why you set a plan before you buy. It's why you take profits on the way up instead of waiting for some mythical top. It's why you use stop losses and never bet more than you can afford to lose. The people who win in altcoin season aren't the ones who chase every single pump. They are the ones who know the risks, have a strategy, and keep their emotions in check. They do their research. They dollar cost average with discipline. They take profits without feeling guilty. And most importantly, they know that a red candle isn't a reason to panic. It is another part of the game. So here's your call to action. You get prepared. Set your entry and exit plans. Research your coins. Decide how you will take profits. And never forget that altcoin season is a double-edged sword. If you're ready, it can be life-changing. But if you're not, it can leave you wrecked. If you found this guide helpful, please make sure to like this video, subscribe to JRNY TV, and ring that bell so you never miss our next update. What are your top altcoins for the season? Please be sure to drop them in the comments below, and we would love to get this conversation started. Thanks for joining us, and remember, stay early, stay sharp, and we will see you in the next one.